Let's be honest, you've probably been lied to about what it takes to get good grades. You've been told it's all about hours of hard work, beautiful notes, and a whole rainbow of highlighters. But what if I told you the most effective way to study was also kinda lazy? Today, we're gonna break down a method that feels like you're doing less work, but actually gets you way better results. And the best part? It's all backed by science.
Okay, so picture two students. On the left, we've got the artist. You know this person. Maybe you are this person. Their notes are perfect, they spend hours highlighting, they feel super productive. Then on the right, you've got the genius. Their process, it's messy. It's just one pen on a single chaotic page. It feels like a real struggle. But look at that last row. The artist gets a D, and the genius gets an A+. So what on earth is going on here? How is that even possible?
Well, the artist is a victim of something we're going to call fake studying. This is the big villain of our story today. It's any method that tricks you into feeling productive, but doesn't actually help you remember anything long-term. And we're talking about the most common study habits out there: rereading your textbook, highlighting pages until they're glowing, or just mindlessly copying notes. Turns out, scientifically speaking, these are almost completely useless.
So let's get into the science of this. Why does all that hard work so often end in failure? Well, it all boils down to a huge misunderstanding of how our brains are actually wired to learn.
And this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? If these methods are so bad for us, why do they feel so right? Why do we spend hours doing them only to draw a complete blank on the exam? The answer is a really powerful trick your brain plays on you.
It's called the fluency illusion. Basically, when you reread a chapter, your brain goes, "Oh yeah, I've seen this before. This is easy. It feels familiar." But here's the trap. Your brain mistakes the easy feeling of recognizing the words on the page for the much harder skill of actually recalling the information from memory. And those two things are not the same at all.
To really get this, you have to completely change how you think about your brain. It is not a USB drive. You can't just plug it in, look at some information, and expect it to be saved. Learning just isn't a download process. It's not passive.
So if it's not a hard drive, what is it? Think of your brain as a muscle. Now, how do you make a muscle stronger? You don't just look at it, right? No, you have to put it under stress. You make it struggle to lift something heavy. Learning works the exact same way. It requires effort. It requires a struggle.
Here's a perfect way to think about it. When you're just highlighting or rereading, you're a spectator. You're watching the information go by, but you're not actually doing anything with it. It's literally the mental equivalent of going to the gym to watch other people work out. You're not going to get any stronger doing that.
Okay, so if sitting back and watching isn't the answer, what is? Well, this brings us to the core of the whole lazy genius system. It's an active method that feels tough, but trust me, it's incredibly effective. We call it the blurting method. And yeah, it's as messy as it sounds.
The protocol is so simple, it's almost deceptive. First, you read the material, just once. Focus on actually understanding it. Then, and I'm serious, this is the most important step of all, you close the book. Put it away. Get it out of sight. Now, you take a blank page and you just blurt out everything you can remember. Scribble, write, draw, whatever it takes. It's going to be messy, it's going to be hard, and it won't be perfect. And then finally, you open the book back up and, with a different colored pen, you fill in everything you missed.
You know that moment of panic when you close the book and your mind goes blank? That struggle to pull the information out of your head? I need you to know that is not the feeling of failure. That is the feeling of learning. That's your brain doing the heavy lifting, building stronger connections. You have to learn to love that struggle.
And here's the lazy part that's actually genius. When you're done, that messy page is now a perfect roadmap of what you know and what you don't. The stuff you remembered easily? Great, you know it. Stop wasting time on it. But those gaps, the stuff you had to fill in with the red pen, that is your new study guide. That's the only thing you need to focus on from now on. Talk about maximum efficiency.
All right, so the blurting method is amazing for getting information into your brain. But how do you make sure it actually stays there until the exam? That's where part 2 of the system comes in. It's called the lazy loop.
So, let's compare two approaches. On the left, we've got the classic midnight cramming session. We've all been there, right? One giant, high-stress, coffee-fueled disaster that actually destroys your brain's ability to remember anything. Then on the right, you have the lazy loop. It's low stress, it's broken up into short little bursts, and it actually hacks your brain's natural forgetting process to lock in the information for good. And look how simple this schedule is. It's not about adding more hours. On day 1, you learn the stuff with the blurting method. The next day, you just do a quick 15-minute review of that messy sheet. A week later, it's just a 5-minute recap, and then one last look before the exam. By spacing it out like this, you're sending a powerful signal to your brain that says, hey, this stuff is important. Don't delete it. It's way less total time studying for way better results.
So let's put this all together. What we're really talking about here is completely redefining what a smart student even looks like. It's not about looking busy. It's about being effective.
For years, we've thought that those beautiful, color-coded, Instagram-worthy notes were the sign of a great student. But the science shows it's the total opposite. The real A+ student is the one with the messy, chaotic blurred sheets, the one who's always testing themselves, always struggling, and always finding the gaps in their knowledge.
So here's the mindset shift. It's time to stop trying to be an artist, obsessed with how your notes look. It's time to start being a machine, obsessed with only one thing: performance.
And I'm going to leave you with this one question. When you sit down to take that final exam, who do you want to be? Do you want to be the artist who looks at a question and thinks, oh, I recognize this from my pretty notes, but can't actually write down the answer? Or do you want to be the genius who has trained their brain to pull that answer out of thin air?
The choice is yours. You can keep working harder, or you can start working smarter. It's time to become a lazy genius.